Hello solo leveling fans and welcome back to a new video. Real quick before we get started, I just want to shout out this comment right here. This is the comment of the video, of course. Best of luck to everyone that is taking part in the giveaway, and thank you so much for all the support that you guys have been showing to the channel. For the giveaway, if you want to enter, all you have to do is like, comment, and subscribe, and you get a chance to win a deluxe battle pass, and we'll be giving that in roughly a week now. So best of luck again to everyone that is taking part in the giveaway. With that being said, I have another announcement to make. I did say earlier that I'm going to be making a guild when that's official, but I wanted everyone that is interested in joining the guild to basically drop a suggestion name down below in the comment section, just to see like what kind of names we can make into or choose basically to make our guild. With that being said, guys, let's get straight into today's video. Now today's video is going to be all about the girl Merei, and we are going to be covering everything when it comes down to her artifacts, her skills, her dupes, whether or not you should be pulling for her in the first place, and I'll even address the Gun-Hee situation where people are saying you should be saving and shouldn't be going for Merei if you're a free-to-play player. I'll be talking about that as well, but let's start off by covering her kit and seeing what it's like. Obviously, with this being said, she's a wind type assassin. She's supposed to be a DPS character, and let me tell you, she is a DPS character. You've probably seen a couple of content creators cover her skills, so I'll be quickly going over this already. But when we started talking about her, she's a sword user and she's a close range fighter. Her auto attacks or her basic attacks are basically AoE, and she deals a ton of damage. Now, with that being said, her core attacks is like obviously a charged attack that she deals after a while, and as you can see here, after 6 or 7 attacks, that comes out and it deals a ton of damage. Now with her basic attack, her first ability here is going to be her Q ability here, or the Kuroho Sword Technique type 3, Wings of Night. And as you can see here, once I use it, you TP behind the target, letting out some damage here, some wind damage going behind the target. Now the second ability is Raven's Cry, and when I use it, you jump in the air and basically use a knockdown. It is an area of effect again, and it does affect multiple targets. It also knocks down targets, but obviously not the bigger targets with super armor. Now when it comes down to your ultimate, here we go, we're going to be using that. It deals an initial burst, and then obviously you deal a ton of damage, losing mana points on the way, but also dealing a ton of damage with your ultimate ability here. Now, as you can see here, I'm going to quickly just defeat these. Trying to use as much of the abilities as I can. Okay, we'll use it on the boss anyways. But yeah, as you can see here, we are doing straight up a ton of damage, and you can double ulti, by the way, for the people who are wondering, and it does stack up over time. So you deal that initial burst of damage, and then you use that to get behind the target. Just dodge that real quick, dodge again, and then you unleash. So yeah, pretty strong if you ask me. She deals a ton of damage, huge burst. That mask is highly cool. I just want to say that real quick, guys. But yeah, I hope you found that insightful, and I hope they find that helpful. So the kit absolutely looks amazing. She is going to be a great unit to be taking here into the future content of the game. But let's move on to her skills real quick here when it comes down to the hunter skills. Obviously her basic attacks that we just saw, these are the numbers of anyone who's interested in the numbers: 200%, 210, 225, and her core attack is 920%. That is the big charged attack that you guys let out. Now when it comes down to her abilities, obviously this one, the first one, does airborne effects where you TP behind the target, and when the user uses this skill, it charges their power gauge by 15%. Not only that, but your second ability also has a knockdown, as you saw earlier, and it's on a 15-second cooldown. The second ability, the first, is also on a 15-second cooldown, and they both use 110 mana points. Now the support skill is a little bit on a longer cooldown with 25%, but it deals a lot more damage, obviously, and it deals a knockdown as well as a ton of damage when it comes down to her support skill. Now the QTE ability, that is basically once you use an extreme evasion or a core attack or an ultimate skill, and honestly it just helps the user recover 10% of their MP, so that's pretty handy. The ultimate is where she goes absolutely berserker and she puts on that mask. It is a 45-second cooldown. By the way, this cooldown, we'll get to that in a second. You can put that way lower than this, and the wait time is going to be absolutely crazy when it comes down to the build that I'm going to be talking about later. Sorry. With the power gauge, obviously consumes everything. It deals wind elemental damage, and the user becomes possessed when they use it. Now, when the user uses this skill, it removes all debuffs from their team. That is an absolutely crazy thing to have. So once she ults, she'll be able to remove any debuffs that the team has. Crazy in my opinion, honestly. Excuse me. Shouldn't be something that DPS should be able to do. This could be like a more of a supportive skill. I don't know why she has it, but hey, I'm not complaining. More for her kit. Now, when the user tags out or they have 10% or less of their MP, it removes the possessed effect. But let's see what the possessed effect does. So when the user uses their basic attack, it decreases the cooldown of basically your first ability and your second ability by 3 seconds, grants super armor during the duration of the effect, and deals additional damage. Additional damage proportional to 20% of each attack. It also consumes 3% of the user's max MP for 3 seconds. So it lowers your cooldown for both abilities, grants you super armor, and consumes a bit of MP when it comes down to your ultimate ability. But the trade for that is obviously look at all that damage and all that all that what's it called, all these value when it comes down to the numbers. In my opinion, she goes absolutely crazy. Now when it comes down to her duplicates, I think if you're a free-to-play player, hear me out very carefully. You either go for A1 right here, or you just take the 1 copy, and I'll get to why in a second. Basically, the A1 here, as you can see, while possessed, as in like when she ults, effect is active, it increases the user critical hit rate and critical hit damage by 20%. So that's amazing already. You already get those for 20%. When the user uses the first ability, Wings of Night, while possessed effect is active, it applies the Deep Darkness effect. And what the Deep Darkness effect is, it increases your attack and critical hit rate by another 12%, stacking up to 2 times for 10 seconds. Absolutely crazy stuff. So that's your A1 right there. Crazy damage. And speaking of increasing the critical hit rate and critical hit damage here, if we go to her weapon, which I'll be covering in a second, it also helps you when it comes down to stuff like that. So yeah, look at her weapon real quick here. As you can see, charges the user power gauge by 10% when the user enters the stage. So you already get 10% of your ultimate just by equipping her weapon, and increases the critical hit rate and critical hit damage by for your first ability and your second ability by 5%, which is absolutely amazing. And that's at level 1. Max level, you get, obviously the charge goes up as well to all the way up to 60%, holy, and 30% is the increases the user's attack, defense, and HP by 15%. That's another buff that you get here that you don't get at level 1. So yeah guys, incredibly insane stuff. But the other, if you're whaling basically, and you want to go all the way out for the other copies as well, it's nothing to scoff at. Basically, she's still very strong. Look at this, charges the user power gauge by 40% when entering the stage. So that's another 40% to the other 10% that your weapon has at level 1. So that's you already walk in the stage with 50% of your power gauge. And when the user uses their basic attack or core attack, it charges the MP and power gauge by 1%, meaning that your ultimate is going to last longer, obviously, and it's going to be absolutely crazy. Now, A4 increases Merei's wind damage by 10% for every wind team member in the party, stacking up to 3 times, obviously for all the party members, and it will go all the way up to 30 if you have 3 wind characters, if I did the math correct. A5 is crazy. While possessed, the user grants the Raven Confession effect, and basically it increases the damage of your 2 skills by 80%. So yeah, overall, all the dupes are very good. As a free-to-play player, I'd either say go for A1, maybe for A2. I highly doubt you can go for A3, but if you get lucky, hey, go for it. Honestly, my suggestion is honestly go for 80 tickets max. I don't know obviously how much tickets you have in your account right now, but I'd say go for 80 tickets, maybe 100, 150 max, and see how much you can get out of those tickets. Nothing more than that, honestly, because you're gonna definitely need the Gun-Hee units. And why I say that is because you can always, she's just a banner, at the end of the day, she's just a banner character, and they will add her to the rate up or the custom draw banner anyways in a month's time, about like a month and a half from now basically. But the thing with Gun-Hee is, the point that I'm going to try and make here is, it's going to be a festival character, and he's going to be the very first festival character. So we already know that Netmarble and Soul Leveling are not going to mess this up. They're going to definitely make it a very broken unit, and they're going to make it worthwhile pulling for. But with that being said, we also don't know whether or not he's going to be like another just rate up character that is going to be added to the banner, or if he's going to be an exclusive kind of celebration kind of unit that you can pull for, if you guys know what I mean. So yeah, definitely I highly suggest saving some tickets for the Gun-Hee event. By no means that this is going to be the end of the world if you don't get Amamiya. Yes, she's very strong. Yes, it's worth going for her. But at the end of the day, like I said, she's going to be getting added to the rate up ticket, to the custom draw ticket. And at the end of the day, I understand that the rates are going to be lower. The chances of obtaining her are obviously lower because you have to win like the rate up and all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, she's still there, and you can always put her on your rate up list to obtain her. There's always going to be that chance of obtaining her. Unlike Gun-Hee, if he's gone for like another, I don't know, until the next big event or until the next major event, or if he's gone forever, you're not even like able to get him again, that would be a problem, especially if he's like a very broken unit and they're going to build a lot of content around him. So yeah guys, that is when it comes down to her pulling, her advancements in free-to-play, what my opinion is on her. Next up, we're going to be talking about the artifacts here, and she has a couple of builds that you can go for. Now, the very first build obviously is going to be through the Burning Curse effect, and if we take a look here, the Curse effect, we're going to be looking at the 4 or 8 Curse effect, because if you're not like applying any of these, there's no point in going for this build. But basically, you're going to try and go for the 8 set Curse effect, because look at this, it increases the user damage dealt by 30%, additionally increasing damage dealt by 0.2% every second, and it stacks up to 100 times. So absolutely crazy stuff, guys. You definitely want to go for the 8 Curse effect. It could be a very viable build, since it enhances the amount of damage you deal. Yes, I understand that you take 20% more damage, but at the end of the day, trust me, all that damage numbers, they do add up, and she already deals a ton of damage, and you already have your abilities to help you when it comes down to that survivability and other team members. So you don't have to worry. You also can add like blessing stones and other things to help you deal more damage when it comes down to her build. Now, when it comes down to the second piece of armor that you can go for is the toughness set. Now, the toughness set, again, that just basically increases the critical hit rate by another 8% and increases the critical hit damage by 32%. So we're looking at the 4 set here. Obviously, the user critical hit damage increases by 32%. Absolutely crazy stuff. Now, with that, you can always run the expert set as well, because the expert set, when it comes down to the expert set here, as you can see, the 4 set, again, we're going to be running 4 set effects, increase the activation rate to 50% and attack increase effect to 1.6. And when it says when landing a critical hit, the user has a 25% chance to increase attack by 0.8%, and it stacks up to 100 times. So again, a lot of crits, a lot of damage. You're definitely going to be buffing all that abilities on all those damage numbers on your character. You're going to be doing a ton of damage. So yeah, the first one was the cursed effect, the burning curse effect. The second option is your toughness set with the expert jewelry set, and then the last one, call me crazy here, but the last one that you can go for is going to be the one that lowers your cooldown, if I can find it here. Good lord, where did it go? Oh, there we go. Here we go. The almighty set. The almighty set here, as you can see, when you use 2 pieces, it increases your ultimate skill damage by 25%, but it also decreases the ultimate skill cooldown by 40%. So as much as that sounds like a great time, trust me, it will be dealing a ton of damage. You might argue that it's going to be weaker than the other two sets, but again, I think it's it's a lot of fun, especially that it's going to increase the amount of damage that your ultimate is going to be doing when you have two set effect active, but also decrease the ultimate skill cooldown by 40%. And with that, you can honestly pair it with a lot of things. You can also add it, you can also pair it with the expert set again. You can go for the what's it called, the concentration of firepower set, because at the end of the day increases the user's skill MP consumption rate by 20%, but increases the user damage dealt by 5%. And yeah, look at this, goes all the way up to 18% cooldown reduction. Basically, you can craft your own build when it comes down with this set. Like with the Almighty set, you can literally craft anything when it comes down to jewelry next to it. But honestly, in my opinion, I think this with the expert, yeah, so the Almighty set with the expert set will probably go crazy to increase both damage from your ultimate and also increase critical hit damage and critical hit rate. So yeah, guys, I think that is the best build that you can go for when it comes down to her. And she's an insane unit, but at the end of the day, like I said, spend responsibly. Do not go all out for her. At the end of the day, she will be added to the custom draw banner. But with that being said, guys, that brings us to the end of our video today. I hope you found this insightful. I hope you found it very, very educational. And if you did, don't forget to hit that like, comment, and subscribe. Drop some guild names down below. Thank you so much for watching. Happy leveling.